Es ist ja unglaublich, Wahnsinn. Immer noch im Gespräch natürlich. Unglaublich. Singer-Songwriter Rhob Cunningham, professional soccer player, professional singer-songwriter.
Jedes ist möglich.
Alles ist möglich. Alles ist möglich hier. Unbelievable. We have to talk about the solo album. I mean, we talked about Our Little Secrets, which came out in 2010. And then in September last year, your solo album came out. It's actually right up here. It's called The Window and Day. And the beginning of the creation of the album, I think, is fascinating. Because one day, actually, you were wondering how and where to record a new album. And you ended up in Iceland.
I did. A friend of mine, Miles O'Reilly, who's celebrated in Ireland for making lovely, sympathetic music videos. I was sitting having a beer with him, and I was like, "What'll I do? Where'll I make this album?" And he suggested jokingly this guy Valgeir Sigurdsson, and I knew of his work, but I didn't know of his name. I actually liked his stuff without knowing this, but I asked some of my contemporaries, my friends, who I trust and love, and when I was like, "What do you think of this Valgeir Sigurdsson guy?" They'd be like, "Well, if you can get him."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Okay, well, he must be good if everybody respects him."
I mean, he started working with Björk, I think, in the late 90s, and then he started this studio, greenhouse studio, I think, up there in Iceland. Incredible
beautiful
sound
setting, beautiful setup, you know, and the toys they have, it's really refined. There was that element of when I first started recording, the very first day, you kind of sit in and you start playing, and already it sounds incredible, and you're like, wow, this is, how do you... It's kind of like, it was mind-blowing, and to be surrounded by the beauty that is Reykjavik, and
I bet,
and you know, also, I mean, to work with somebody who's that good that you can just forget about that element of making a record, wherein you can just play your songs as you want without having to worry about the tweaking and stuff. It was a dream.
Incredible. It was a dream. Has that whole Iceland experience, has that really left a mark on the recording, on the songs itself? Can you hear that, or do you hear that? Was that like something?
Well, at first I thought, because I had a really strong idea of what it was going to be to an extent. Actually, I befriended some really talented musicians while I was over there. Played a gig or two in a cafe, and I was like meeting a gal who played baritone sax and a gal who played cello, and a really cool guitarist was just like, "Okay, you're coming with me," you know, and got them in the studio.
Yeah.
And the further away from the days of recording I get, the more I hear that it is of the place, it is of its time, and I'll cherish that forever. It's really something special about it.
And we'll cherish it with our viewers, because you have a great song. It's called Ghosts, which is actually being directed by your friend Miles O'Reilly, who actually started that joke of maybe you should go up to Iceland. You actually went up to Iceland. Great album, great song, and the video. We're quickly going to check it out. It's called Ghosts.
Cool.
And here he is, Rhob Cunningham. Cunningham, ganz oben in Iceland. Hat man auch gerade das in Island natürlich auf Deutsch, Iceland in English. Da haben wir auch gerade oben das Studio gesehen. We just saw the studio up there in the video in Iceland. Incredible. We saw the strings being played for the album. And here it actually is, The Window and Day. But what I think is absolutely fascinating, this is actually, I don't think if the camera can show this, das ist handgemacht, ja, das ist nummeriert von ihm selber. 300 Stück gibt es momentan von diesem Album. This is actually number 186. And you've done it yourself.
Yeah,
you actually sell it on tour when you're on tour.
Yeah, and when I sell them all, I make some more. It's better than having boxes of CDs in there. But I burnt my finger making them as well.
Actually, here you see the burn marks on the album.
Yeah. But there's a bit of me on every one.
Absolutely,
literally.
And you're on tour. You'll be in Nordrhein-Westfalen. You'll be in Cologne. You'll be in Remscheid. You have a couple of tour dates actually here.
It's Remscheid tomorrow, and then Cologne the next day, and then I'm doing a couple of house gigs as well, but I'm also playing in Erfstadt, Scene 93, and yeah, I can't wait. I've played around here before, but it was always a support act, so it's nice to be able to dictate the evening myself. It'd be good.
You told me before you actually
whiskey bar, so we'll see how it goes.
That should be all okay. But he said before these house gigs. That's something really special to you because it's like really up and close and really personal. I'm accused of being a purist, but if you don't have to rely on a PA, that's what instruments were before we got our wonderful electricity and there
speakers
were microphones. It was just the musician and the instrument.
And it's I think our ears are sensitive to that, and sometimes we get lost in the compression of MP3, and a lot of people don't know what they're missing out on. So if you just get rid of all of that and just sing with your voice and play with whatever instrument is there, it's my favorite thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good luck for the show. Good luck for the tour. Really great venues here in Germany, in Cologne, in Remscheid. Könnt ihr alles natürlich auch bei uns unter anderem auf der Homepage sehen. Einfach auf nrw.tv klicken und da habt ihr alle Infos natürlich zu Rhob Cunningham, momentan hier bei uns zu Gast. Aus Dublin nach Berlin, gleich auch bei uns mit 2 ganz, ganz tollen Songs. We'll be hearing 2 songs, you'll be doing 2 performances. Thank you so much for this point. Und hier ist nochmal das Album. Danke dir. The Window and Day, Rhob Cunningham. Und jetzt geht's erstmal weiter mit dem Klickblick. Thank you.